Imagine the unthinkable, a brazen robbery not under the cloak of darkness, but in broad daylight, within the hallowed halls of the world's most visited museum. On October 19, 2025, the Louvre, a symbol of French culture and history, became the stage for an audacious heist that left experts and the public stunned. This isn't just a story of stolen jewels. It's a tale of vulnerability, historical echoes, and a nation grappling with the protection of its priceless heritage. The morning of October 19, 2025, began like any other at the Louvre Museum in Paris. Visitors streamed through its grand entrances, eager to immerse themselves in centuries of art and history. But at approximately 9:30 a.m. CEST, a meticulously planned operation unfolded, shattering the morning's tranquility. In a mere 8 minutes, a team of thieves executed a daring raid on the Galerie de Pouen. This historic gallery, renowned for its opulent decor, housed a collection of the French crown jewels. The audacity of the crime, committed during regular opening hours, sent shockwaves across the globe. The target was not just any collection. It was 8 pieces of the French crown jewels, valued at an astonishing 88 million. This wasn't a quiet, unnoticed theft. It was a lightning-fast strike that left a gaping hole in France's national treasures. The world watched in disbelief as news of the Louvre's vulnerability spread. This incident marked the first art theft from the Louvre since 1998, when Camille Corot's painting Le Chemin de Sèvres vanished. It also brought back memories of the infamous 1911 theft of the Mona Lisa by Vincenzo Peruggia. Each event, separated by decades, highlighted persistent questions about the security of such invaluable collections. The thieves' plan was as audacious as it was effective, relying on a blend of deception and precision. They arrived at the Louvre disguised as ordinary construction workers, donning yellow and orange vests. This simple yet brilliant camouflage allowed them to blend seamlessly into the urban landscape of Paris. Their entry point was unconventional and highly strategic. Approaching from the Seine riverside, 2 members of the crew used a furniture lift, a common sight in Parisian streets, to reach a first-story balcony of the building's south side. Their faces concealed by balaclavas, they were ready for the next phase. Once on the balcony, they used a disc cutter to slice through a glass window, gaining access to the Galerie de Pouen. This action immediately triggered security alarms, but the thieves were undeterred. Their speed and determination were key to their success. Inside the gallery, they confronted guards, reportedly threatening them with their power tools. In a frantic 4 minutes, they smashed 2 glass display cases and snatched 9 precious items. The entire operation, from entry to exit, was a blur of calculated movements. Their escape was equally well orchestrated. The thieves used the same furniture lift to descend, where 2 other crew members awaited them on motor scooters. They sped off along the banks of the Seine, eventually reaching the Boulevard Périphérique and the A6 autoroute southwards. During their hasty exit, one crucial item was dropped: the crown of Empress Eugénie. It was found badly damaged in the street, reducing their haul to 8 items. They even attempted to set fire to the lift's basket, perhaps to destroy evidence or create a diversion, before vanishing into the Parisian morning. The true impact of the Louvre heist extends far beyond the staggering $88 million valuation. What was stolen represents centuries of French history, artistry, and royal legacy. These were not mere jewels. They were tangible links to queens and empresses, embodying power, elegance, and the nation's past. The Ministry of Culture identified the stolen items, painting a vivid picture of the irreplaceable loss. From the sapphire set of Queen Marie Amélie and Queen Hortense, a magnificent tiara, necklace, and a pair of earrings were taken. These pieces once adorned royalty, witnessing pivotal moments in French history. The emerald set of Empress Marie-Louise also suffered a significant loss. An exquisite emerald necklace and a matching pair of emerald earrings vanished. These jewels, with a few of their vibrant green hues, were symbols of imperial grandeur and personal taste. Finally, from the collection of Empress Eugénie de Montijo, a reliquary brooch and a large corsage bow brooch were stolen. Her tiara was also targeted, though it was the piece tragically dropped and damaged during the escape. Each item tells a story, a fragment of France's rich narrative. Intriguingly, the thieves left behind some of the most famous and valuable diamonds in the Galerie. The Regent, valued at $51 million alone, along with the Sancy and the Hortensia, remained untouched. This selective targeting raised questions. Were the thieves under extreme time pressure, or did they lack the specific knowledge to identify these particular gems? Prosecutor Laure Becquot eloquently summarized the profound loss. While the monetary value was immense, she stated that the greater loss was to France's historical heritage. These jewels are more than their market price. They are part of the collective memory and identity of a nation, now tragically fragmented. The 2025 Louvre heist immediately ignited a fierce debate about museum security, exposing vulnerabilities that had been warned about for decades. This wasn't an unforeseen crisis. Rather, it was a culmination of ignored warnings and under-resourced protection. As far back as 1998, after the theft of Le Chemin de Sèvres, then Louvre director Pierre Rosenberg had cautioned that the museum's security was fragile. His words, seemingly prophetic, highlighted systemic issues that persisted for over 2 decades. The recent heist brought these long-standing concerns back into sharp focus. More recently, Laurence Descartes, the current director of the Louvre, had requested a security audit from the Paris police. Recommendations were made, but tragically, they were only beginning to be implemented when the robbery occurred. This delay proved to be a critical failing, leaving the museum exposed. Labor unions had also voiced their concerns, specifically the Union Syndicale Solidaires, which issued a statement on the day of the robbery. They complained about the destruction of security jobs at the Louvre, arguing that staff reductions had undermined the museum's ability to protect its collections, even as attendance soared. The Louvre was not an isolated target. Other French museums had recently suffered similar fates, indicating a broader trend of vulnerability. The Cognac J Museum and the Hieron Museum were hit in November 2024, followed by the Adrien Dubouché Museum in September 2025. Even the National Museum of Natural History in Paris was robbed of gold worth $600,000 just weeks before the Louvre heist. In the aftermath, Director Descartes appeared before the Senate's Committee on Culture, acknowledging a terrible failure. She confirmed that parts of the building, crucially, were not adequately covered by external cameras. This glaring oversight allowed the thieves to execute their entry and exit with relative impunity. French President Emmanuel Macron, condemning the robbery, ordered a speeding up of the implementation of the audit's recommendations. He emphasized the Louvre New Renaissance project, launched earlier that year, which aimed for strengthened security. The heist served as a stark, urgent reminder of the need to protect France's cultural memory. The immediate aftermath of the Louvre heist was a scene of chaos and disbelief. The museum was evacuated and closed to the public, its grand halls suddenly silent, save for the urgent whispers of investigators. The world watched as one of its most iconic cultural institutions grappled with a profound violation. Interpol swiftly added the stolen jewels to its stolen works of art database, a global alert for these irreplaceable treasures. While the Galerie d'Apollon remained closed, the Louvre bravely reopened its doors on October 22nd, a testament to its resilience, even as the wound of the robbery remained fresh. The police response was immediate and extensive. Prosecutor Laure Becquot announced that 60 people had been assigned to the investigation, a number later increased to over 100 by Interior Minister Laurent Nunez. Investigators meticulously reviewed CCTV footage along the escape route, piecing together the thieves' movements. Evidence recovered at the scene included power tools, a blowtorch, gasoline, gloves, a walkie-talkie, a blanket, and the damaged crown of Empress Eugénie. Crucially, trace DNA evidence from a helmet left behind provided a vital clue. This forensic breakthrough would prove instrumental in identifying suspects. Just 6 days after the heist, on October 25th, 2 suspects were arrested. Both men, around 30 years old and from Seine-Saint-Denis, were already known to police for past burglary cases. One was apprehended at Charles de Gaulle Airport, attempting to board a flight abroad, a classic move for those trying to evade justice. The DNA evidence from the helmet matched one of the suspects, solidifying the case. The political fallout was swift and severe. President Emmanuel Macron condemned the robbery as an attack on a heritage that we cherish because it is our history. He vowed that the works would be recovered and the perpetrators brought to justice. Interior Minister Núñez called it a major robbery of immeasurable heritage value. Culture Minister Rashida Dati noted the thieves' professionalism, observing, "No violence, very professional." However, Justice Minister Gérald Darmanin reflected on the negative image the robbery projected, stating, "People were able to park a furniture hoist in the middle of Paris and give France a terrible image." Political opponents seized on the incident to criticize the government. Éric Ciotti, leader of the UDR, called the heist an ultimate symbol of its collapse, arguing that the entire nation is threatened. Communist Senator Ian Brissot also criticized the government's handling of security concerns raised by museum staff. In an unexpected twist, Booker, the German company that manufactured the furniture lift used in the heist, published a social media post that went viral. It highlighted the speed and quietness of their products, inadvertently turning a criminal act into a bizarre marketing moment. This strange footnote underscored the global attention the heist commanded. The 2025 Louvre heist serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of our cultural heritage. It underscores that even the most iconic institutions are vulnerable, and that the protection of history, art, and national identity requires constant vigilance and investment. This wasn't just a theft of jewels. It was a wound inflicted upon the collective memory of France and the world. For historians, this event highlights the ongoing struggle to preserve the past against modern threats. For art lovers, it's a painful reminder of the irreplaceable beauty that can be lost in moments. For the French, it's a challenge to their national pride and a call to safeguard their unique legacy. And for tourists, it's a moment to reflect on the immense value of the treasures they visit. We must demand robust security measures for our museums and cultural sites, ensuring that the lessons from this audacious crime are learned and acted upon. Support your local museums, advocate for increased funding for cultural preservation, and engage with the stories these artifacts tell. Visit the Louvre, explore its wonders, and appreciate the history it holds, knowing that its continued protection is a shared responsibility. Let this heist be a catalyst for renewed commitment to safeguarding the treasures that define us.